and welcome back to the most amazing corner of the internet. I'm your most amazing host Rebecca Felgate, and today we're talking a few things your teachers left off your lesson plans in school. Join me as we talk about the top 10 scariest facts about history you were not taught in school. Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that we have new merch available. That's right, we are about to have a new 2018 line, and I am so excited about it. So go check out our merch, the link is in the description box down below. Okay, scary facts you weren't taught at school. Let's do this. Coming in at number 10, heroin used to be used as a children's cough syrup. German drug company Bayer made a heck of a lot of money selling heroin to parents. Get a load of these babies! Heroin was a prescription drug in the US until 1914, and then it was banned in 1924. Can you imagine how children would be after a sweet dose of Bayer heroin? Like, Christ. Coming in at number 9, Hugo Boss designed Nazi party uniforms. Hugo Boss is a luxury German fashion house that now sells its product globally and is frequently seen on runways. The designer brand started up in 1924 and originally supplied the Nazi party. This all went down before and during World War II. Comedian Russell Brand was actually even ousted from the GQ Man of the Year awards after making Nazi jibes at the brand in 2013. So, remember Thomas Edison from your history lessons? You know, the light bulb guy. Well, he had a very dark side that your teachers did not tell you about. He actually murdered an elephant, and this is coming in at number 8. Thomas Edison devoted his life to working with electricity. Unfortunately, he got pretty brutal when he needed to prove a point. In 1903, the American inventor murdered an elephant to prove that an alternating current was a bad idea. He even invited 1,500 people to watch as he murdered Topsy the elephant at Luna Park Zoo on Coney Island. He also filmed it and released the footage to the public, and it's actually really heartbreaking to watch. I would say I'd boycott light bulbs, but not really an option. Coming in at number 7, remember that song that you guys used to sing as a kid in the playground, the Ring a Ring o' Roses one? Well, it's actually a death song. Ring a Ring o' Roses is a song about people dying from the plague. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down. You know how it goes. So Ring o' Roses refers to the rash that plague victims would develop. The pocket full of posies refers to herbs that people would carry around to protect themselves from the plague. The a tissue bit is like people sneezing like a sick person, and we all know what all fall down means. That's people physically dropping down dead and dying from the plague. Fun. Okay, next up. In school I was taught a lot about the Roman Empire, but I was never taught this. At number 6, Romans used to use human urine as mouthwash and crushed mouse brains as toothpaste. Gross. Blah. Get the mouse brains out of my mouth. Get the mouse brains out of my mouth. I guess they had to keep their breaths fresh somehow, but yeah, I don't know, urine wouldn't be my choice. They also used urine to clean their clothes. This is basically because ammonia, which is found in pee, takes out stains, so basically they were more concerned with having white teeth than fresh, non-pee smelling breath. Personally, I'd really pass on cleaning my teeth with pee and brains. It's just a personal choice. Coming in at number 5, Saddam Hussein was actually given the key to the city of Detroit. History paints Saddam Hussein as a bad guy, mainly because he was indeed a bad guy, but nonetheless, after making a donation to a church in Detroit in 1979, basically because a reverend praised him, he was handed the city keys. The American history books aren't so proud of that one. Coming in at number 4, famous explorer Christopher Columbus used to rape children. Yeah, so I guess that kind of extinguishes the yay for Columbus and his explorations party. In some places, people even go as far as to celebrate a Christopher Columbus Day. The problem is, not only was he awful to the indigenous people, he also raped them, including the kids. He would often give his lieutenants sex slaves, and he even wrote in one of his diaries that girls from age 9 to 10 were the most desirable. Gross. Gross. Coming in at number 3, schools don't teach us much about Nazi twin experiments. I don't know how much history has shielded people about the kind of experiments that Nazi warlords did on concentration camp victims. Obviously we know that they were gassed, but school history books do leave out a few choice facts. I know a lot lot about the Josef Mengele experiments, but that's because I've done extensive research on that area of history. A lot of people do not know about the veteran Nazis' sick experiments on twins and other such horrific medical tests. Mengele would inject chemicals into twins' bodies, especially their eyes, and try and change their colours. Later, when he was done with them, he'd murder them. Another Nazi, Eil Koch, allegedly made lamps from human skin. Coming in at number 2, we often don't know the extent of Japanese cruelty in World War II. Possibly because Hiroshima and Nagasaki were so horrific to humanity and the pain echoed throughout Japan for a great deal of time, the extent of Japanese killing in World War II is somewhat brushed over by history. Of course, all countries involved inflicted pain and suffering, but did you know that the Japanese torture methods were considered to be the most severe? Did you know that Japanese killed more Chinese soldiers than the number of the entire Jews killed in the Holocaust? Also, Japan wounded more Americans in Alaska than at Pearl Harbor. There were also swathes of reports of Japanese cannibalism and cruelty. Of course, this far into the future, we have to live and let live, but Nazi Germany gets the lion's share of the blame for atrocities, and Japanese war crimes are largely glossed over. Finally, just when you thought we were sort of semi-living in a time of peace, you may not know that Russia and Japan are technically still at war. Two powerful countries who are still sour post-World War II. Yeesh. Even though the countries haven't been engaging in hot war for over 70 years, they never signed a peace treaty officially indicating peacetime between the two nations. The pair still disagree heavily over the Kuril Islands. I for one really hope that they never engage in war again, because that could be devastating for everyone. So that was the top 10 scariest facts about history you weren't taught in school. I actually really enjoyed this list. I love me a bit of history. Did you guys already know some of this stuff? If you didn't, what did you find the most shocking? Let me know in the comment section down below. For me, the teeth brushings with mouse brains and urine I think is a personal highlight. Ugh. Okay, so I think that's a good note to end this video on. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Most Amazing. I'm your most amazing host, Rebecca Felgate. Please make sure you leave me a thumbs up, share this video with a friend, and stay subscribed for more fact-delicious top 10 lists. See you next time.